Went from 6 to 10 to 20 to 50 million. Paid somebody $10,000 and it went really bad. How did you have the courage to quit your job? Probably the most expensive costs were...
Guys, what's up? My hair is dirty, that's why I have a hat on. What's going on with you? I'll be very quick. I made the video to tell you the truth. I don't have anything else to post. And I have this amazing friend, Brett. I was wondering for a while, what the hell is going on? And how he makes money and how he supports himself, because he has amazing lifestyle. He's traveling a lot. He lives in so many places. He is free spirit. He's very generous. And if you watched my previous vlog, I'm gonna check in analytics, just kidding, I didn't watch my own vlog. I was okay. The message is simple. He's been in business for 14 years, I wanna say. So he knows what he's talking about. You wanna be like Brett. If you wanna have an amazing life in 305 in Miami, just watch this video, guys, and follow his advice, and something will come your way. Don't thank me. Don't thank me. Check out my new rope. Let's get to it.
Oh,
What's
hey.
poppin'?
How's it
Today's
going?
the day. I can't believe I know you for like literally 4 years, and I don't know what you do. Can you please tell me what you do?
Yeah, sure. I have a health supplement company. It's called Revival Point. It's mostly, aimed at, I would say, the average customer is a woman over the age of 50. So that's typically probably why I'm not talking about it to my friends that much, because I don't really feel like it can directly benefit them. The whole story is like I was in college and I wanted to learn like more than they were teaching in school. Okay. So I started going to some of these like meetup.com groups. Meetup.com, I don't know, I don't think it's really as popular as it was, but in I guess like 2009, 10? Yeah, Meetup. Yeah. So they would have these meetup groups. There was this huge one called like the New York Tech Meetup, which was all like tech people and tech startups.
Did you meet somebody at the meetup and people were like, okay, this is the industry where you have to like, invest, or like...
Well, that's true. I did actually meet somebody at one of the meetup groups who said, this is how I'm selling courses online. So that was, sort of an opening or a gateway into how I figured out the right way to do it, right? So so essentially, the same person that I learned how to sell courses online through also went into the health supplement industry, as did a couple other people I know who were, very, very successful selling online courses and went to selling health supplements. And the reason for the transition was just that, there was more money in it for essentially the same amount of work. And I saw other people doing it. So, I wasn't the leader there, I was the follower.
You started the company, it's like 10 years ago, like more years ago? Like,
I would say we transitioned to health supplements. I started successfully selling online courses, or I started trying to do it maybe in 2011. I started 2010, 2011. I had really breakout success with it in 2013. So that was when it officially became successful. And then I transitioned to health supplements in 2016.
So you were selling only courses before, and then you were selling something.
I also have like a personal interest in it. I think that was one of the reasons why I made the transition, was because I was like, I could do this and it would be interesting to me. I wouldn't hate it. So
was it only you in this company? Were you by yourself, or you had like a partner? Did you build like a special like website for specifically like the supplement? Okay.
Yeah. And then there was like a tool that like was kind of like an all-in-one software that could both process the credit cards, send the customers a whole bunch of emails afterwards.
Like Shopify, or something like that.
Yeah, it was like an earlier version of that. So that was super helpful. And then, the biggest thing was like once things sort of started to take off, the most obvious place to hire somebody was a customer service person. And at the time then, it was very sort of new and upcoming to like hire people in the Philippines. So I hired a couple customer service people in the Philippines to handle the customer service requests. So that was the first thing there. And then I hired like kind of like an jack of all trades assistant to just help me out with whatever I could, you know, because at that point, like you don't have enough work to give like a dedicated person something.
How, so you started like the company like yourself, and like how many people do you have now? Like approximate like head count.
Yeah, I think if you count like customer service team and you know, some contractors that we work with, it's about 60 people. 60 people? Yeah, maybe like actual like tax US based full-time people, it's around 35. But a lot of it is customer service still. I would say like a third of it to they're like 30 to 40% is customer service.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you still like have customer service in Philippines or in other countries? Like
no, we do both, but
Russian,
one of the things, not yet. No, one of the things we wanted to do, especially because like we sell to a lot of people over 50, is we wanted to have US based people that they could speak to on the phone. It's definitely more expensive, and it was a thing we had to evaluate, but we decided it would be good for customer happiness overall and probably worth the money if we have, you know, we have 24/7 US based customer service by phone, and then by email it's Philippine team.
But like I'm proud of you. Let's call you boss. What was your budget for starting the company, and how your revenue looked like in the beginning when you just started, like, you know, promoting the website, like all of it, and how your revenue looks right now? Like per month, if we're talking about.
Oh yeah, sure. So, I mean, I think one thing that I realized, so like, one thing that a lot of people have asked me was like, oh, you know, how did you have the courage to like quit your job and? By the way,
did you have a job?
I did have. Yeah, I worked 9 to 5 as a graphic designer for 2 years.
After college?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, like in my head, I was like, well, I need to get a job as a graphic designer to save up money in order to start a company. And after 2 years as a graphic designer, I hadn't really saved up any money.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm still not clear on exactly how much money I need. I was living in an apartment that was really not great. It was like a 3-bedroom apartment. I was renting out a room from this guy that I was probably overpaying for. And this guy in my office, he was like, hey, you should, I don't know whether he said you should move into my building or I know a building you can move into. And he found this like incredibly cheap apartment that was a 3-bedroom. And I was like, if I split this with 2 other people, I'm gonna be saving significantly more than I'm paying now. And so I basically just did the math. I mean, my rent was incredibly low. And if I just ate like, you know, pasta and Parmesan cheese and for every meal and paid the internet bill, you know, and I knew how to do graphic design, I knew how to build websites, so I was getting some random gigs doing that, and I was still, you know, running the meetup group, and so I had some sources of income, right? So I was like, you know, stuff would have to go really, 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 really bad with my new business attempt. Like I would have to not be able to figure this out and generate any money whatsoever from it. Yeah. For like 3 years straight before I would have to then go back and look for a job. And I would have like 6 months to look for a job, and I can find one and get back. So it was like I had a lot of time to figure this out. And I just did the math, and I wasn't putting myself in a risky situation. Some people have talked about this, like, you know, just do it and you'll find a way to survive. But I don't really think that all that pressure. I was spending money trying to get this business to work. So I had like a $14,000 tax return because I got back because I had extra expenses that I could show them from this online business where I was trying to sell the courses online that wasn't working yet. So, you know, I was like, I can take this $14,000 from the tax return and a bunch of, you know, the web design. That was like so I could quit my job. So I knew if I quit my job, with the money that I had saved up, I could basically fail really hard at what I was doing, just pay rent, eat pasta with Parmesan cheese, pay the internet bill, and I could string this out if I got no money from anything, no money from the meetup group, no money from web design. If I got no money, I could probably last a year and a half. If I got money from web design and whatever, I could stretch it out a lot further. So to me, it wasn't really that risky because it was like, it would have to be a very, very, very unlikely scenario for me to not bring in any income whatsoever in the next year and a half. And, I could basically survive till then in a worst case scenario. So I was like, I think it's worth doing it.
You had to find a manufacturer. You had to find
that when you get into that world, like that is going to cost you more money. It costs between $3 and $5, like in the low end, per bottle, and you do a low run. Like most companies say you can't order any less than 5,000 bottles.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so it's gonna cost you between $15,000 to $25,000 just to get your first product tested.
How did you find a manufacturer back in 2013, 14?
Yeah, that's a good question. I probably asked a couple people for referrals. That's what I did. Yeah.
Is your manufacturer in the States or somewhere?
Yeah.
In the States.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And what about the formula? Did you have any consultation with let's say I don't know, chemical engineer, people who create formulas, okay, this would be great. How did you come up with the formula? Because
originally, it's a good question. Originally, I didn't have a whole lot of work with people like that. I mean, when you call the manufacturer and you say, hey, I want to order some supplements from you, can you help me out? They'll typically help you out because they want, that $15,000 to $25,000 or more order from you. The first two supplements, I did all the work myself. So, the first one was men's health product, and I was just I was browsing a couple of forums, and people were talking about, one guy was actually talking about something that he makes at home. He had some kind of science background. But it was normal things. It was this much, it wasn't like that. No, it was garlic and ginkgo biloba. There were kind of a couple core skills I had to learn. In addition to, understanding what made a good product and creating a good product, and that meant different things depending on whether it was content and an online course or a health supplement. The other skill that I had to learn was copywriting, which is essentially, it's how to explain to somebody. It's more or less sales, right? If you learn any sort of sales methodology, whether it's selling from the stage, if you go some of these self-help seminars, there's people selling things from the stage, right? They've got their own courses that they want to sell you. There's sales conversations you can have one-on-one with people. If you're a salesperson for a company selling things on the phone, there's strategies to sell people. So I needed to learn all these strategies first about what makes people have the motivation to buy and how to explain.
Learn your customer.
And then I had friendships at that point with other people that were doing similar things, who were essentially willing to help me out by doing an affiliate promotion. So essentially I had to set up an affiliate program for my sales page. And I told them, I said, here's my product idea and whatever. And they said, that's cool. And then I made the product page and I said, here's my product page. And they said, that looks good. So I was in communication with them and I had good relationships with them. Yeah. And then I said, okay, I know you do affiliate promotions and you've only got, 5 products, right? So after all your customers buy your 5 products, there's nothing else for them to buy from you, but they probably would still buy something, right? So why don't you promote my product to your customers? We'll track those sales, using a tracking platform, and then I'll pay you for all the sales that you generate.
When did you start even making money? Because I would assume you were in negative because you invest.
No, I was pretty careful about what I was investing. Probably the most expensive costs were developers and, copywriting consultants, like people to review the sales page and help me make it better because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I paid somebody $10,000 to make the whole sales page for me, and it went really, 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 really badly, right? And then I was like, shoot, well, I guess I can't figure out who is good at making these sales pages and who isn't. So I don't really have a choice here but to learn how it works, or else I didn't really see any other way to do it because I had done everything right, or the best that I thought I could, going to the smartest people I knew and asking them who I should hire. And I evaluated those people to the best of my ability, and then I hired the one that I thought was best, and it really did not work well at all.
How did your revenue grow from like the first year, like let's say, and like till now?
Yeah, well, so when I first started trying to make online courses, I hired that guy. I think I got like 3 sales off that product, and someone was like, I can never promote your product again. It like sold so poorly.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, crap. So then I was like, I gotta learn about this stuff, and I tried kind of like a version 1.0, and I was like, yeah, it's not kind of good enough. And I went back and I made a version 2.0. And then I went to a couple people and I said, hey, would you promote this product and see how it works? Because that's really the only way to tell, is to put it out there and see what whether people are buying it or not. And I was lucky enough to have those relationships. That was a key part of my success. So I promoted that, and they were like, this one's a little bit better. And then I think it was maybe my third idea that worked really well. I had a great idea for a product, and I remember going to one of the most successful people I knew at the time, who was also a pretty chill person. There's different types of successful people, right? There's successful people that are like, I will never tell you how I do anything. It's like,
it just sucks.
Get lost. And then there's other people that are like really successful. And they like love everyone and are an open book. So this guy was more like the open book, and he was like,
just like you today.
I hope so. Because I appreciate that, when I'm pass it forward. So he basically was like, I would hire this guy to help you as a copywriting consultant. So I had a great idea for a product. I told this guy that he recommended to me, hey, your friend who I know recommended me to you. This is my idea. He's like, it's a great idea. So we put together the sales page for it. Or in this case, it was actually like a video. And it did really well. That was like maybe, I want to say, August 2013. And that, I think the first year after that, I got it about $300,000 in sales or something like that. So that was like the first time that like I was like, this is a lot. I wasn't like great at like, figuring out how much money I was really keeping from that. Like realistically, I was probably keeping like maybe around 15% of that. So maybe I was keeping $45,000.
How much money you make per month, like right now?
All right. So the best growth we ever had was maybe like from 2017 or 18. Yeah, we went from 6 to 10 to 20 to 50 million in 2021.
Is it per year?
Yeah.
I was like per month?
No, not per month. Okay, no, per year. And then but a lot of companies did really well in 2021, right? Because all these checks for the government were being sent out. So you've got a lot of companies with crazy high sales numbers in 2021. So then my sales went back down to 25 in 2022, and then it's like kind of around that now. What's going on in the business is like totally different from what I was thinking about or focusing on like before. Like right now, we're trying to create like a repeatable system to come out with new products. Because if we can come out with like 10 new products every year, and they're all pretty good products and have a high probability of success and sell really well, and we're like really dialed into what people want and how to communicate that to them, and we keep the prices under control and all that stuff. If we can do that and come out with 10 products a year, then we can grow a lot faster. So a lot of my focus has been on that. There's also been economic struggles, like inflation has hit people hard, so that's an issue.
Do you want to turn your company into passive income, or do you want to sell your company?
It would be great to build it up and try to sell it. That's the goal. Maybe in 4 years. So
that's a good goal. Okay.
Yeah.
But would you like start another business, or you would like retire?
No. I couldn't retire.
I can't imagine.
I like to stay pretty busy. I'd like to do something like totally different if possible. I think that one of the best ways to figure out that is like maybe take a year in between and just kind of reflect on things.
Yeah. What advice would you give to people who like start a company right now? Maybe a few tips.
Oh gosh, I mean, there's all types of ways to do it. Definitely I think I'm a big proponent of not taking huge risks. I feel like the people who seem like they're taking big risks, they are doing the math in their head about how hard this thing is going to be to achieve or not. And to them, they probably think there's a pretty good chance that it'll work out, and that's why they go and do it. So I don't think that there are people out there that are thinking oh man, this is probably going to fail. Or if they are, they're at least acknowledging that and baking that into the money that they're going to need to survive or whatever. But I think that's probably the biggest thing is, just making sure if you start a business, maybe you're already still working your 9-to-5 job. I think the just quit cold turkey because it puts a fire under your butt seems crazy. I mean, unless yourself and it really is, you're like, this is the only thing that's going to make me personally do this.
Do that, yeah.
No, so I think that's pretty crazy to do. I think there's a lot you can do just on nights and weekends, and then you can just build it up over time until, hopefully it's your full-time thing.
Yeah.
I think that's what most people do, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then when I quit, not having insane expenses to cover and having a super cheap life for the first 2 or 3 years was also really helpful. So
I'm sure. Yeah. Thank you so much, Brad. We wish you good luck.
Thanks.
Sure, yeah.
You too.
We will have an exit interview when you close the company, and we do exit.
Wow. All right.
Sell it, not close the company.
4 years.
Yes.
Same spot.
Exactly. Thank you so much.